Hey, second grade. So today we're going to start in on a new part of speech. So we've already spent a little bit of time covering nouns. Take a second to remember what a noun is. Remember, people, places, and things. Those are split up into two categories, common nouns and proper nouns. And we know that common nouns are like everyday things, such as a pen or a book. But we can turn those things into proper nouns by calling it exactly what it is. Like this is a Bic pencil. So that would be with capital letters, right? And this is a math and focus book, being a proper noun now. All right. So we're moving on. We're going to be going right into adjectives. These are kind of related to nouns because we'll look up here on my board. They describe nouns. So now that's why we're learning this now. And like I said, nouns are people, places, things. So, looking up on my board, we're going to look at the first sentence, and we need to figure out first, what's the noun? And then we can go in and, I call this adding juicy words to your sentences, okay? It helps jazz things up a little bit, makes your sentences more interesting. All right, let's look at the first sentence. The dog ran around. Very basic sentence, isn't it? Doesn't have any of those juicy words that I was just talking about. So, let's figure out what that noun is in there first. People, places, things. I'm spying it right there. Dog, right? That's the thing. Some people call it a people. However, we have no words in there describing the dog, do we? So, there's a couple of different things you could put in there, right? We could describe the size of it. We could describe the color of the dog. So let's just start off easy. We'll go with size. I don't know about you guys. My dog, he's a little bit on the big side. So we're just going to go ahead and slide in the word big. All right, we're going to reread the sentence now that we have an adjective in there. The big dog ran around. Big describes our noun dog. All right. Next example, right down here at the bottom. Oh, Billy Bunny. Billy Bunny was too short to reach the apple. All right, let's think about what the noun in that sentence is first. I'll give you a second. Oh, you found a couple of nouns. Very good. Yes, there are. Billy Bunny. That sounds like someone's name, right? And Billy is actually describing the bunny. So Billy Bunny, that's our big noun. That is the person in the sentence. Billy Bunny was too short to reach the apple. Oh, you're right. Apple is another one. Do we already have an adjective in there? You're right. This word short is describing the bunny. So that right there, that would be our adjective. And what's it describing again? Oh, Billy Bunny. You're right. It's describing Billy Bunny. However, we do have another noun in there that we could, maybe jazz up a little bit and make this a more interesting sentence. Billy Bunny was too short to reach the apple. Just a regular old apple. Why not a... Ooh. You know what we can do? We can throw two adjectives in there. Really make this a juicy sentence. You ready? I don't know about you guys, but I love big, round apples, right? So, too short to reach the... I'll use a different color for this one. Big, round apple. Sentences start to look a little messy, but remember, just a rough draft. You can always rewrite something. So, we have an adjective here describing Billy Bunny, and then we threw in two adjectives to describe the apple, which is a thing, right? So, excellent job with that. I'm sure you're wondering, I wonder what else there could be out there for adjectives. And I have an awesome list for you all, and we're going to work on it together. All right, let's go take a peek at it. So I've developed 3, 6, 7, 8 different categories of adjectives. And what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, I wish you guys were here with me, but I'll add to this list, but I'm sure that you could think of some on your own, is I'm going to go through and we're going to put in a couple of examples for each one. And I'm sure at home you're coming up with a million up in your head, and I'm sure they're right. So you don't have to use just what I have on here. You can always use your own as well. Okay? So let's go right at the top. Size. We can use words like gigantic. You can use words like tiny, small, tall. You get the idea. We can also go over shapes, such as describing something as being round, something being boxy, or even our regular shape words like square. We can also describe color of a lot of things, right? So we could use our regular color words like blue, red, orange. Clifford the big red dog, right? Those are all describing words. Also sound. This is something that I'd like to see us to start to use in our writing, such as a very loud classroom or a very quiet student. We could also go over number. Ooh, this is a good one. So, there are a few students in the classroom right now. There are many girls playing outside. Or you can even use specific numbers such as 5. There are 5 students walking in the hallway. So you can use specific numbers too. Taste. And you guys use these all the time and I love them. You can describe something as being sweet, sour, it's a great word, or even tangy. Oh, I like that one. And here are a couple that you already kind of know. Weather and texture. The weather outside right now, it's pretty cloudy. Or we can even say rainy. But it could be a very sunny day. And the last one is texture. And we've gone over this one a lot with science, right? Describing the carpet on the floor as being, you got it, rough. Or the surface of your desk, it's pretty smooth. And I know some of you always have this in your backpack. How you describe slime. You nailed it, and you know I hate it. It's very slimy. So, we have a bunch of different categories of adjectives that you can use. And feel free to always be taking note of different adjectives that you can be using in your writing. So, there's just one more thing I wanted to go over, and this is more of review than anything else. So, I'm going to come back to you. Here you are. So, if you remember, about a month or two ago, we started working on superlatives and comparatives. And guess what? They're adjectives. So, let's take a look at them. Get that out of the way. So remember, superlatives end in est, E-S-T, and comparatives end in E-R. Remember, big fancy words, but they have a pretty easy definition. Get a little bit closer there. All right. So, you start with your base word tall. You can describe a boy as being tall, but you can also say that Billy is taller than Joey. Or you can say that Benjamin is the tallest in the whole classroom. Remember, that's the superlative, the super one, the biggest, the best, right? So you're adding the EST to it, and that creates a nice juicy adjective, which is really cool. Same thing for short. Sammy is shorter than Billy. Or Samantha is the shortest in the entire class. And I have an example down here at the bottom for you. Sarah is the tallest person in the class. And remember, that word tallest, what's that describing? You're absolutely right. It's describing your noun. Who is the person? Sarah. So tallest is describing Sarah. So adjectives can be right next to the noun, or they could be several words away. And that's okay. All right. That was my quick mini lesson and refresher on adjectives, superlatives, and comparatives. If you ever have a question about this again, go back and rewatch this video. If that doesn't answer your question, feel free to reach out to me.